Hi, my name is Joe Schriefer, and I'm standing here at a bowling alley that's 6.7 miles away from our financial research headquarters in Baltimore, Maryland. Why? Well, if you know anything about bowling, you know that the score of 300 is what's considered a perfect game. It's incredibly rare and incredibly hard to do. But what if I told you that there is another way to achieve the equivalent of a perfect score, not in this venue, but in the financial markets, in a way that pays up to $300 in instant cash every single time you use it? And what's more, unlike bowling, this secret financial transaction requires absolutely no skill. Anyone can do it, and it works every single time. And to prove that to you, I'm going to go in here, into this bowling alley, find someone who's never heard of this strategy, and teach them how to use it, teach them how to generate up to $300 in instant cash in less time than it takes them to bowl a single frame on the lanes inside of this building. So let's get started. So can you tell us your name first?
Lane Schuster.
Lane. How long have you been coming here to Glen Burnie Bowling?
20 years.
20 years. How'd you bowl today?
Well, the first game I had on 123.
Okay, 123. Is that good or bad for you?
It's good for me.
Okay. Well, first of all, have you ever seen anything like what we're about to do? If I told you I had a way to make money in the stock market that worked every single time, every time we use it, that could generate hundreds of dollars, would you have believed me? Would you believe me?
Probably not.
Probably not. What's your level of stock market experience?
I don't have any.
You don't have any.
No.
Have you ever traded stock before?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
No,
Do you have any retirement account or anything like that of which you hold stocks?
No, I'm retired from the Postal Service, so
Okay.
I get my civil service.
Okay, so you get social service, never traded any stocks before, so
No.
Again, you'd be pretty skeptical if I told you I had a way to make money in the markets every single time.
Yes.
Okay. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to tell you what to do. If you can just click a couple buttons and enter in a couple letters that I'll tell you what to enter. I'm going to start this timer because not only what I'm about to do shows you how to make money, it's going to make money instantly too. So within about 3 minutes, by the time I start this timer, you're going to have an instant cash payout, and whatever you generate here today, you're doing it in my account, so it's at my risk, but whatever you generate, I'll give you 100% of the money you generate, and it's instant money that we're going to make right now. Okay, Lane, so the first thing I want you to do is if you could take that mouse, and if you look at where it says cash right here, so you can see down below, 2 lines, there you go, right down here. So you can see this line that says cash,
Right.
and you can see this number that's just beside it.
Right.
So can you tell me what that number is right there?
Zero.
$0. Can you tell me what the number is beside that?
Zero.
0. Can you tell me what the number is beside that?
That's zero.
0. So you see that right now we have $0 cash in my account. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and complete this secret transaction right now. Okay, so while Lane goes ahead and makes this move in my account, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what's actually going on in the screen. So number 1, Lane has my computer. Number 2, we have an internet connection. And number 3, he's logged into my brokerage account. So as you can see on your screen, I'm asking Lane to enter in a few letters. And in a moment, I'm going to ask him to click his mouse on a couple different numbers that you're watching right now. There's one click on a number. He's clicking on a different screen right now, and then we will be done. Here's another number that Lane's entering in. He's choosing from a drop-down menu, and in a moment, we'll see if what Lane has done has actually worked. So let's go ahead and place this trade, and let's see how Lane did. So now what I would like for you to do is go back up in here to my account, and if you can,
This one here?
just to the left of that,
Right there.
and then if you could go down to where it says balances. It's just above there. There you go, perfect. Okay, now, earlier when I said to read that cash screen,
Right.
we read all those numbers across there, and they said 000.
Right.
Can you read me what this number now says?
$191.22.
Okay, so we just generated, and what you just did, we just generated $191.22. Can you believe that?
No, I can't.
How long do you think that took you according to this timer?
3 minutes.
3 minutes and about 8
10
seconds?
Yeah, 8 seconds.
Okay, so when we first started this conversation, I asked you if you thought that you would be skeptical if I had a way to make a couple $100 in a secret financial transaction that was instant cash in just a couple minutes. And you
Yes.
said you didn't believe me.
Yes, I did. That's what I said.
And now what happened?
Seems like you did.
So we generated $191.22. That number said 0, now it says $191.22. So that's what I'm going to owe you. I do not have. I'm gonna just pay you 200 because I don't have change here for you. So I'm gonna give you 100. I'm gonna give you 200 bucks because that's about what you just generated for me. So when you went bowling today,
Yeah.
you've been here for 20 years. You bowled a 123 earlier. Had you ever thought that when you came here to the bowling alley this morning to bowl, that you generate 200 bucks in about 3 minutes using
Not at all.
a
No.
secret financial transaction? Well, thank you very much.
You're quite welcome. Well, I just came in to bowl for fun, and I was approached to a gentleman that said I could make some money in a short period of time, which I was skeptical, but he ended up generated almost $200, so I was very surprised to receive that.
Okay, so you just witnessed Lane make $191.22 in just about 3 minutes, and Lane had a little bit of trouble with the mouse. So let's try it again, and let's see if we can do it even faster this time. Okay, so can you tell me what your name is?
I'm Carson Lemon.
Carson, very nice to meet you. I'm Joe. And
Cindy Barton.
Cindy, very nice to meet you. I'm Joe, and you are Carson's grandmother. Carson, have we ever met before?
No.
We're not distant cousins,
No.
friends, anything like that?
No.
Never met me before.
It's first time.
Okay, and you are here doing what?
Bowling.
How'd you bowl today?
Pretty good.
And how often do you come to the bowling alley?
Once or twice, like a summer maybe.
Okay, and you're out of school right now?
Yes.
What grade are you in?
7th, going into 8th.
7th grade, going into 8th, and you are how old?
13.
13 years old. If I asked you to define the word stock, would you be able to do it for me?
No.
Have you ever done anything in the financial markets?
Not really.
Never traded a stock, didn't take a finance class in 7th grade,
No.
and passed with an A+ and had to trade stocks, nothing like that?
No.
Okay. What we're going to do today is I'm going to teach you something in the financial markets that if we do it correctly, should pay you a couple $100s in a couple minutes.
Okay.
And the trick behind it is that we know it's going to be perfect every single time. So we know it's going to be a strategy that pays you cash every single time. But to demonstrate that to you today, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to allow you to do it in my account.
Okay.
So it's my risk, and whatever money we generate, at the end I'll go ahead and pay you out. So you were the second person that we're going to go ahead and do this with today. We just did it with a gentleman named Lane, and Lane generated about $191 in just 3.5 minutes.
Okay.
So can you go ahead and on this cash balance, we're logged here into my account, can you go ahead on the far right, that's the money that Lane just generated, so can you read me that number?
$191.22.
Okay, $191.22. So that is our starting cash here today.
Okay.
When we go ahead and reload this in a couple minutes, if there is any change in that number, we'll subtract the new number from this number and I'll pay you the difference because that's how much money you've went ahead and generated.
Okay.
Now, it should just take a couple minutes. So Cindy, if you could go ahead and hit start on that stopwatch, we're going to time this here today, and I will tell you everything to do, so you can go ahead and hit start. So just like Lane, I'm going to come in here and tell you what Carson's doing in my screen right now. And since Carson is younger, and since Carson is used to using the computer that we're working on, let's see if we can do this a bit faster than what we did with Lane. So just like what we did with Lane, we have the same three things here. We have my computer, we have an internet connection, and we have my account that Carson is going ahead and making this maneuver in. So just like Lane as well, he's just entering in a few different letters that I'm telling him to enter in. And he's going to make the same amount of clicks that Lane is making here. So as you can see, there's one click. Here is a second click. In a moment, he'll go ahead and complete this third click, enter in just a few more numbers. So here is a number, and then he's going to choose the same thing that Lane chose from the drop-down menu. So as you can see, this is not difficult at all. And then he's going to go ahead and place the trade and confirm the trade very, very fast. Let's see what happens. Our order is now placed. Okay. So what we want to do is, what's our time right now?
1:34.
So about 90 seconds, 95 seconds. Go back up to the My Account button in the top left-hand corner,
Yes.
and then you're going to go down to Balances, and if you click that. Okay, now when we started this, and I asked you to read that cash screen, do you remember what that number was?
$191.22.
$191.22. Can you tell me what that cash field now says?
$359.44.
Okay, Cindy, can you go ahead and hit that stop button? Total time was
2 minutes.
2 minutes. And we started with $191. We have
Yes.
roughly $360 now.
Yes.
So the difference of them, let's call it $170.
Yes.
So we just made $170. You just made it. Not we. You just made $170 in my own account in how many minutes?
2 minutes.
In 2 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead. I owe you $170 right now to pay out there. So what did you guys think?
This is pretty awesome.
How easy was it?
Pretty easy.
How many clicks of your mouse do you think that took you?
Not even, probably 10 or maybe 12.
So 12 clicks of the mouse, 2 minutes, you generated $170. Have you
Yeah.
ever done anything like that before?
No.
Did you ever think that when you came to the bowling alley today to bowl, that you'd make $170 in 2
No.
minutes? So fantastic, guys. You did great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll pay you really quick. 20, 40, 60, 81, 20, 40, 60, and 70. So go ahead and count that really quick for me to make sure I paid you the right amount.
Okay. 4, 6. We just clicked buttons and we just made money in the stock market, I guess, basically.
And we came to bowl, and we got this opportunity, and it looks like a great plan. And I'll probably look into it since I do have some stocks. So
No,
I never thought
we
this
never
was
thought this was possible.
this was once in
Yeah.
a lifetime.
Okay, so you just watched it happen again, this time with Carson, a kid who wasn't even in high school yet. And you saw him do it very quickly in under, like he said, 10 to 12 mouse clicks. Let's try it again. So my name is Joe.
Hello, I'm Lynette.
Hello. Lynette?
Yes.
Lynette, how long, you obviously work here at the bowling alley, you got the staff shirt on.
Obviously.
How long have you worked here at the bowling alley?
8 years.
8 years. So let's say someone comes in here, and let's say someone bowls a good game, but just one good game.
Yes.
You could call that a fluke, right?
Yes.
Okay, so let's say they come in here the next week and they bowl another amazing game. So now you've seen them twice and they bowled 2 amazing games. Still a fluke? Or are you starting to become a
No,
believer?
then I'll challenge them to bowling, and then they have to join a league if I win.
Okay, so let's say they come in here and they bowl 3 amazing games. Now you're starting to believe that they're a good bowler, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you're the 3rd person we've talked to today. The first person that we showed what you're about to see
Okay.
made money. So you could say that's a fluke? One for one?
1 for 1.
Okay, the second one made money. You're the 3rd one. So if I could convince you, if I could show you that we could be 3 out of 3 and using a little-known financial transaction to make money, you could be a believer?
I could be a believer.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit real quick before we get started. Do you have a stock account? Have you traded stocks? If you could rate on 0, the level 0 meaning you have no stock market experience, or the level 10 meaning that you are an expert, where do you put yourself?
Personally, I'm about a 5.
Yeah?
I have accounts like this that generate money for my children. I just don't pay attention.
Got
I
it.
just get the statements and just
Okay.
go off of it.
So if I told you I had a way, however, to make some instant money, you may be a little skeptical unless we could prove we're 3 for 3?
3 for 3.
Okay, let's give it a shot. Okay, so I'm going to tell you what to do. This is my account that we're logged into, so this is
Okay.
my brokerage screen. So whatever you do here today, there's no risk to you. There's 2 big amazing things about this strategy. Number 1 is that it works every single time for us to generate an instant payout. And I know
Okay.
you may be skeptical, but I'll prove it to you. And the second thing is that it doesn't take a lot of time to do it. So I'm going to hit the timer, and I'm going to tell you exactly what to do. So again, we are in my account.
Okay.
You are the 3rd person we have talked to today. So if you can look at this cash balance right here, and you can see that this number all the way over on the right-hand side in green says what?
$359.44.
Okay, so this says $359.44 because you are the 3rd person, again, that we have talked to. The first person generated about $191. The second gentleman, who was a young kid, he was 13 years old, named Carson, generated $170. So that means we're looking at a total right now of $360, roughly. When we go ahead and do this in just a moment, we're going to reload the screen, and if it's higher than $360, I'll pay you the difference between the 2.
Okay.
Okay, so tell me what this timer says real quick.
58 seconds, 59. 1 minute.
Okay, we're at 1 minute right now. Let's see if we can go 3 for 3 with Lynette here. Again, she's got the exact same thing that Lane had. She has the same thing that Carson had, and I'm telling her what to do here to see if we can make some money with this secret financial transaction. She's clicking a couple buttons here. She's going to enter in the same amount of numbers, and we'll see if Lynette has what it takes to go from being a bowling alley manager to generating money in the stock market in just a few minutes' time. We're almost complete here. Same thing, she's going to confirm the order. So let's see if we can go 3 for 3. And I want you to tell me where we are with this timer right now.
2 minutes and 18 seconds.
2 minutes and 18 seconds. We had about a minute of warm-up. You would say that was true before we actually got started? So we're about a minute and a half in right now?
Yep.
Okay, go back up here into my account. And if you remember, in just a moment I'll tell you what to click, but if you remember, that number was about $360.
Yep.
Okay, so go ahead here and hit balances again. And I want you to read me this new number down here.
$592.66.
Okay, so $592.66. We had about $360 before. So subtracting them out is about $233 that we just generated. Does that seem right?
Yes.
Tell me what that timer says now that we're final.
2 minutes and 57 seconds.
2 minutes and 57 seconds. So having worked at the bowling alley for 8 years, what do you think it takes you to bowl a single frame of bowling?
A single frame, about 1 minute.
About 1 minute. What if you had to wait for the ball to return every time if you're only using one ball?
We're going to add about 2.5 minutes.
Okay, so if you're using the same ball and you're bowling a single frame, you're looking at like 3.5
Yes.
minutes to bowl the same. So in about the same time that it's taken to bowl a single frame with your own ball, you have now generated about let's say $30.66 in that time.
This is better than bowling.
This is better than bowling. So you said you had some, your kids have some accounts and things like
Yes.
that. If I could show you how to do this for your kids and for you to generate even more money in their accounts, would you be interested based on what you just learned?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So thank you very much. Here is your cash. I'm going to count this out for you. It's about $230. So that is your amount that you get to take home today. That is for you and for your children.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I
you so
appreciate
much.
all
It
your,
was nice to
your
meet
time.
you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Today I didn't think it was possible to make $232 in 2 minutes and 57 seconds, which is faster than an 8-hour work shift. I could have been home by now playing with my kids.
Okay, so you've just watched Lynette do it again, so now we're 3 for 3. And the truth is, I could go to all 100 people here behind me that are bowling, and it would work every single time. Now let's be clear what this is not. This secret transaction is not an account that just matured. This secret transaction is not the tail end of a trade that we set up months ago or weeks ago. What this is an instant strategy for pulling hundreds of dollars out of the market. And it's hundreds of dollars that you could do whatever you want with. It's spendable cash for you. Now what I chose to do, as you just saw, is give it to the participants that we watched here today. I know that probably still sounds impossible. That's why we put this move I'm about to show you to another, even tougher test. We literally took our demonstration to the streets of Baltimore, right outside our own headquarters, and we stopped random strangers so we could show them how it works. So what happened? Take a look. The smiling woman you see right here is named Sharo. When I stopped her, she and her boyfriend were on their way to lunch at Burger King. She's smiling because in just 1 minute, 58 seconds, she's just used this technique to pull in exactly $252.21. Just to thank her for stopping, I handed her half that amount in cash. Now keep in mind, Sharo has no special financial background. She was even a little nervous trying to master my laptop. That's why I tell people, you barely need basic computer skills to pull this off. And check out this next guy. His name is Braden, and he's 18 years old. When we stopped him, he was on his way to a cartoon convention, which explains his crazy getup. Braden also told us that he's got zero financial experience. And yet he was able to use this technique, completely new to him at the time, to haul in exactly $197.21 in almost exactly 2 minutes' time. It's that easy to learn. And again, using this move does not require taking massive risks. I'm letting all these newbies that you're seeing make these moves in my own personal account. Because I know from experience that it could actually be a safer move than some of the more conventional things you hear about, like investing in stocks, gold, bonds, or mutual funds. And yet I'd bet you that 9 out of 10 investment pros know little or nothing about it. That's exactly what we saw when we stopped David, a gentleman who works with one of Baltimore's most prestigious financial firms. Surely he would know about this instant income technique, right? You'd think so, but no, he had never heard of it. However, that didn't stop him from also generating $241, and in less time than it takes to soft boil an egg. Take a look at this. Even that much, coupled with the payout speed of this transaction, is like making $2,200 an hour. Now, how would you feel racking up that kind of haul? Or how about Marcos N. from Milwaukee, who sent us a video of him doing this? Again, let me explain what's going on in Marcos' account. Marcos sent in this video, and even though he's using a different brokerage account, this loophole still works. You can see him selecting AAL again, and now he's looking for some specific numbers. And then, in just a few clicks, Marcos will tell us how he did.
And there you go. It says you receive 150 minus commission minus fees. That's 144.91 very quickly in my account and very easily. Well, let me see. Let me confirm that in my account activity. Let's see. There it is.
In Marco's clip, he generated exactly $144.91 in exactly 59 seconds. That's like making $2.41 per second, or just shy of $8,842 an hour. Thomas F. from Naples, Florida, sent us a tape of him applying this income technique. Thomas didn't send us any audio, but as you can see, he's just logging in now. He used it inside his regular Ameritrade account. And then he's simply clicking through his brokerage account to set up this unique transaction. And then he clicks the final button to process the order and checks his stats. $260 in just over a minute. And he logs out because the session is over. In just over a minute, he collected $260 cash. That's like making $15,600 per hour. What could you do with that kind of cash? Imagine starting a stopwatch, applying this move, and watching that kind of money, $260, just show up 2 minutes later. And again, let me emphasize, I'm not talking here about a secret way to day trade penny stocks. We're not doing this in the rough and tumble Forex markets. This is a move you make in the high end of the regular stock market, using some of the safest, best-known stocks on Wall Street, and in a way that can actually be safer than buying or selling the most trusted blue-chip shares, flat out. In fact, I trust this move so much, I recommend it to my own friends and family, including my own father. And as you just saw, I'm more than happy to use it myself in my own account. Now, in the 15 years I've spent working with some of the world's best investment experts, all kinds of proven, well-tested investing strategies, this is my favorite investing technique, hands down, because nothing I've ever come across works faster or has such reliable results. And just how well could it pay? This may help you put things in perspective. On his last tax return, President Obama reported making exactly $477,383. When you break down the numbers, that works out to $39,792 a month, or about $1,308 per day. Yet I've just shown you people making more on a prorated basis per hour. Now think about that, making more than the president makes in a day with just one or two of these 2-minute income plays. Now it does take a little expertise to pick the right moves, and I do still need to show you how we're doing that for the people who use this strategy. However, if time is money and we're looking at the clock, just imagine if I could show you how to make one of these plays even just once every week. And each time you could walk away with the cash payments as high as the $170, $191.22, or $233 payouts that we just saw, with just about 2 minutes effort every single time. Because that's exactly what I'm trying to show you. The secret transaction really does generate cash every single time without fail. It really does take only about 2 minutes and maybe 10 or 12 mouse clicks each and every time. And like collecting any paycheck, it really is cash income you could collect week in and week out to deposit like clockwork in your own bank account. Frankly, that's why I feel the need to film these demos for you in the first place. It takes just a few minutes to show you these steps. When I do, you'll see how to log these instant cash payments with an extremely high rate of mathematical certain success. I don't get to say that very often, so let me repeat it again. Using the instant income maneuver you just saw, and that you're about to dig into today, we're showing instant cash payouts every single time it's applied. As you'll see, there's also a potential second-tier component to this move, where you could earn even more. Now, if that opportunity comes up, it takes a little longer. And yet, when you look at the full 3.5-year span where we've applied this move, on 169 closed trade cycles, we show a 98.22% rate of success there too. I can't think of any market move this reliable, and believe me, I've looked. Now here's the best part. Exploiting this instant cash loophole couldn't be easier. All you need to do this are just 3 things, and I bet you have all 3 ready right now. Number 1, you need a computer, Mac or PC, with an internet connection. Number 2, you need your own online brokerage account. Pretty much anyone will do. Number 3, you need 2 minutes on Tuesday morning just as the market opens. You'll notice that's exactly what I brought with me into the bowling alley at the start of this presentation. And it's really all you'll need here too, if you're ready to get started. Maybe, however, you're still skeptical. And if you are, I can understand that. After all, how many times before have you come across a move that could hand you hundreds or even thousands of dollars in extra cash every week, and that pays actual spendable cash seconds after you make the move, using a stock market strategy so little known that maybe 2% of Americans even know it exists? That's why I even went out and hired an unbiased, certified third-party accounting firm to verify all of our data start to finish. Now, what did they find? As I said, you could see for yourself. Out of the 169 closed plays where we've seen this 2-minute Tuesday income loophole applied, it's paid 98.22% of the time. That's nearly a perfect record. I told you to expect to see as much as $300 or higher each time, and it turns out that's even modest. According to the independent audit, we're averaging closer to $554 per trade cycle. Again, I've never seen anything like it, and I'm not alone on that. For instance, take what we recently heard from a gentleman named James Roush, who lives in Bloomington, Minnesota. He wrote to tell us, "This simple transaction has become my primary source of income. I expect to make $60,000 to $80,000 this year. I made $25,000 last year while learning the ropes." We also heard recently from Eric Thompson out of Arlington, Virginia. Says Eric, "I realized $128,000 using this secret transaction." $128,000. That's more than double what most Americans earn working full-time. We've also heard from Nathan Cockrell, a college teacher in Storrs, Connecticut. Nathan reports, "I've seen $4,500 in instant income per month. At that clip, that works out to an extra $54,000 a year on top of whatever he earns on his paycheck. Now, who couldn't use an extra $54,000 in instant spendable income? I have to tell you, when I saw the track record of this move piling up, I couldn't bear to miss out myself. Now, I've been doing this for years in my own personal account, so you talk about eating your own cooking. And I love it. My wife and I have seen thousands of dollars roll in, which really helps when you've got 2 young children zooming around the house. I've even shared this instant cash strategy with friends and family, not to mention with my colleagues in the office. Everybody that I know that's tried it is just as hooked on these instant payouts as I am. It's almost like a sport, but with real and instant cash rewards. Now imagine if you could just tap the market for a few extra $100 anytime you like. I firmly believe everybody should try this at least once. If you do, I'm convinced you'll love how quickly this cranks out results. It is literally about as close to instant income as you'll see anywhere. It takes about 2 minutes each time you make the move. Once you've succeeded, the cash heads directly into your account and lands there on the books before you can even refresh the screen. Now it's thrilling to behold. In fact, if you know how to take a screenshot on your computer, I suggest you take one just before your first time following these steps. Then do it again 2 minutes later. You'll be amazed. Cash you didn't have minutes earlier that was not posted to your balance will now be sitting there waiting for you to withdraw and spend as you like, or roll it into something else while you wait for the instant income window to open up again. And our track record doing this over the last 3.5 years is equally astonishing. Our success rate with this instant income strategy is nearly 100%. Hitting a 98.22% verified success rate on all of our trades is like an NBA player hitting every shot, or a baseball player taking a base every time he gets up to bat. Take a look at these real, independently verified amounts. These are just a few recent examples. A full list would name 169 cash-generating trades with an overall average income per trade of $554. And here's something else. Whenever we've done these 2-minute income taps, we've done them based on many of the best-known, most trusted companies on Wall Street. Like the time we showed readers how to pull $380 out of Mattel shares back on February 19th of this year. Or the $240 2-minute cash payout you could have seen with Microsoft that same month. And the $1,568 in instant income readers could have picked up on October 16th, 2015 on Delta Airlines. See what I'm getting at? The quality of the underlying companies is important because, as we'll show you, it's yet another way you can use this instant income strategy and still slash your risk. Again, please remember here that we're not talking about collecting dividends. That's a great strategy too for the long-haul investor, but this is entirely different. What you could do here is something to generate cash much faster, much more frequently. You could do it every week if you like, even if you don't own the underlying companies yourself. Don't get me wrong, collecting quarterly or monthly dividend checks is great too, but imagine if you could start collecting these on-demand income checks every week too. And I mean payments of hundreds or even thousands of dollars in instant cash with each go. I'm not kidding when I tell you that this instant income strategy has completely changed the way that I look at retirement, and has completely changed how I think about making money. It feels as if you're conjuring up cash from thin air. I love watching the deposits blip onto my screen when they weren't there just 2 minutes earlier. I especially love how I can get and spend the cash that day if I want to. I could take my wife out on a Saturday night for a $200 dinner plus $50 for the sitter, or take everybody out on Sunday and cover the balance and then some by Tuesday, just by exploiting this instant cash income loophole.
According to the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. This is why buying options is so risky. And who gets to keep the money these high-rolling options buyers pay out? Like Vegas, all that cash goes to the house. Here's the thing. We can't stop the dreamers from dreaming, but there is a way that you or anybody can get on the other side of that trade. In other words, if you're the seller on those transactions, you get to be the house, which means you get to keep the cash. Instant cash on all kinds of shares, even terrible ones, and it might work out just fine. However, I've always found that we get the best results with a lot less risk when we apply this income loophole maneuver to only the best of the best on Wall Street. That's the way it's been for me from the start. And I've been working banking, hedge funds, and asset management, employing this technique for over 17 years. So how do I pick which company to play against week after week? Of course, I start with all the usual markers, but I like to dig deeper, way past the usual earnings reports. I examine each play as if I'm going to buy the underlying company outright. If I spot a single red flag, I move on. Again, that's true even though we never set out to own the actual shares. Next up, I take my analysis even deeper by merging everything I found with all the important market developments and financial headlines of the preceding week. This really lets me zero in on the best and biggest potential income payouts. At this point, I can usually predict how much cash readers should see on the next 2-minute trade, right down to the dollar. That's when I'm ready for the final step, figuring out how folks should set up the play, and this is where you'll see all of that deep research pay off. Most of my work is happening around the clock, but it really steps up after the market close on Friday. Come Monday, I'd like to see how the week opens. By Tuesday morning, I've got the next move boiled down to its simplest steps, easy enough to execute in 2 minutes or less.
So safe. The United States government allows you to use it inside a regular IRA account or your 401k retirement plan. That certainly tells you something. It's also saying something, too, when you find out that the famously conservative Warren Buffett also uses this kind of instant income maneuver in his Berkshire Hathaway portfolio. In fact, at last count, he's used this move to collect over $7.6 billion. But in my opinion, here's the most convincing proof of all. Not only have I recommended this strategy to all my friends and colleagues, this is also the one move I've taught to my own semi-retired father, and guess what? He loves it. But why wouldn't he, right? Just listen to what Barron's had to say about this type of instant income play. This instant income move can boost your returns without increasing your risk level. And here's Bloomberg Business Week. This strategy is one of the few ways investors